Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're nosy like me, you like to know the details of people's finances. You like to know, what are you invested in? What do you think about cryptocurrency? Are you invested in real estate? How are you making your money? You like to know all the tea. And in this video, I'll be discussing how I manage my six-figure income. By the end of this video, you'll know where most of my income comes from, where I invest my income, how I deal with my tech equity that I get as part of my total compensation. You'll know all the tea about how I manage my six-figure income working in tech. So before we can even talk about finances, I think it's always useful to get an idea of someone's background because your background and your goals influences how you manage your finances. So I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, moved here when I was 6 years old, and I've been in the US for the past 20 years. I grew up basically middle class in the US to immigrant parents. So a lot of their ideas about money, the savings parts definitely got passed on to me. Although saving is an important part of managing your personal finances, there were so many missing pieces like how you minimize your taxes, how you invest in the stock market, how you actually build wealth. That wasn't really passed down to me, so I had to learn a lot of that information through different books and on the internet. Another really important part of understanding how I manage my money is also understanding my goals. One of my biggest goals is to be financially independent. By financially independent, retire early. Basically what I call it is being work optional in the next 10 to 20 years. So a lot of the way I manage my personal finances is built on the FIRE movement, the financial independence retire early movement. Let me just say though, I'm not like the other FIRE girlies. I actually do believe in having a good lifestyle while you're building towards the future. A lot of the ways I manage my money is also making sure I'm considering the lifestyle that I'm living now, making sure that it brings me happiness, even if it means having to reduce my savings rate. So now that you understand my background, my goals, let me talk about how I actually make money. I have two major sources of income, and in those sources of income, there are different categories of how I make my money. My first source of income, which is the biggest piece of how I earn my money, is through my 9-to-5 tech job. I've been working in tech for almost 5 years now, and this has been my largest source of income. I get 60% of my tech salary as a base salary. So just your typical salary, you get paid bi-weekly. Another form of income that I have is getting money through public equity and also bonus. That is about 40% of my tech salary too. So the bonus I get yearly, the equity I get quarterly. And I also make money through content creation. I love content creation so much. It's only possible because of you all liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't done that, this is a good time to do that. I've been doing content creation for about 3 years, since 2019, and I really enjoyed sharing about my journey in tech, giving tips and advice for people who are thinking about breaking into tech. I think a lot of people overestimate how much certain content creators make because my content creation income is still, after so many years doing content creation, is still significantly less than my tech income. As a content creator, I make money through 3 major means: my sponsorships, AdSense, and affiliate links. And because I have a high tax rate and because I invest right back into my content creation business by having editors, by buying the best equipment that I can possibly buy, I actually only get to take home a very small piece of the money I make doing content creation. But I do want to say that I do get some tax benefits as a creator that I wouldn't be able to get as a regular W-2 worker. Now, let me talk about how I actually manage my money. So because a majority of my money comes from my W-2 income and my filing status as a single woman in a very high cost of living city with no dependents means I'm at a really high tax rate. That doesn't include also getting taxed Social Security, Medicare benefits, state income tax, city tax if you're in New York City. There are just so many taxes that I have to pay. So that's why the first places I like to put my money are in places where I can get some sort of tax benefits. So I prioritize my tax advantage accounts because that is where I'm going to be able to reduce my taxable income and save on taxes, which are my largest expense. And believe it or not, I still pay more taxes than these billionaires. So I don't even know how that's possible. These are the tax advantage accounts that I invest in as someone making 6 figures at a very high cost of living area. Starting first, I invest in the traditional 401k. If you're not familiar with what a 401k is, it's an employer-sponsored retirement plan that allows employees to put their pre-tax dollars into an investment account. And in that account, you invest, and then you can access money in that account when you're about 59 years old. If you access it before then, you have to pay a penalty. So yeah, the number one reason I like the 401k is because it gets to reduce my taxable income. So I get tax benefits that way. I also get a company match, and my company has a super generous match. So that's like free money immediately. The first thing I like to focus on is maxing out my 401k completely. I try to do that within the first 6 months of the year. So now before we move on to the next thing, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, 80,000 Hours. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, 80,000 Hours. 80,000 Hours is the number of hours in an average career and also a nonprofit that aims to help people pursue careers that effectively tackle the world's most pressing problems. I've been a fan of the site for a while. Their research and writing about effective altruism has had a huge impact on my life. It teaches you how to donate your money and your time to have the most positive social impact on society by focusing on contributing to evidence-backed organizations that are most effective. They have a website with useful research on social impact careers and also very insightful podcasts like the one with Cal Newport, jobs boards that are up to date, free one-on-one career calls with their advisors. If you're interested in 80,000 Hours newsletter to get updates on their research and new high-impact job opportunities, please check out the link in the description box below. They'll send you a free copy of their in-depth career guide to help you plan a fulfilling career that does good too. So once I've done my best to minimize my taxes, the next place I like to put my money is in a mega backdoor Roth. For someone who's in the income requirement, you probably would want to go for a traditional IRA. That's where you'd want to put your money, but I don't meet those requirements, so I usually have to do a backdoor method, which is the mega backdoor Roth. This is an alternative legal backdoor method to put more money into retirement, and you can even put up to $40,000 into your mega backdoor Roth. I put less than that, but you can put up to $40,000 as of 2022. So basically what happens is that your after-tax dollars get put into a traditional IRA, then it gets rolled over to a Roth IRA. This is automatically done by the place where my retirement accounts are held. So I usually put a bit of money into that as well. The next and final place where I put my money to take advantage of taxes and to reduce my tax rate is through an HSA. So to be honest, I was so late to contributing to the HSA. Honestly, I only started doing it this year because I didn't really know a lot about it and my other companies didn't offer HSAs. HSAs are a health savings account for people with high deductible insurance. You can put money in those accounts, and in that account you can actually invest the money. This money is supposed to be used for your medical expenses. And the cool thing about an HSA is that you get triple tax benefits. You get to use your pre-tax dollars, so you get to reduce your taxable income. You can invest inside of your HSA. You don't have to pay capital gains tax on your investments. And finally, when you withdraw the money, you don't have to pay income tax as well. So you get triple tax benefits putting money into an HSA. And I'm so angry that I didn't do it earlier. But you live and you learn, and that's the third and final place in this taxable advantage accounts that I try to prioritize even before putting money into my main investment account. I also wanted to make sure I shared what I actually invest in. So in all of these accounts, I'm invested in target date funds. If you're not familiar with target date funds, these are retirement funds that are a mixture of stocks and bonds. And as you get closer to the retirement date, the portfolio is rebalanced to have more bonds as you get closer to your retirement date. So once I've done my best to minimize my taxes, the next place my money goes to is in my investment accounts. This is all done through my automated systems. Usually like in the middle of the year, once all of my tax advantage accounts have been maxed out, now it's time to focus on investing monthly into my investment account. I have about one major investment account. This account I invest in every single month. It's entirely self-managed by me. I don't use robo-advisors. I'll put a list over here of really good investment accounts if you're curious about doing self-management. I manage this account by myself, and that's because I'm only invested in two things that the robo-advisors are also invested in. They're both index funds. The only difference is that one is a mutual fund, one is an ETF. I have exposure in the entire US stock market, and this is where I put all of my money investing. And it's important to do this because if you remember, I talked about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. After contributing to your retirement account, it's also important to put a significant portion of your income into your investment accounts as well. So that's why I make sure to prioritize investing in my investment accounts because it makes it easier for you to retire early. Let's talk about my public companies equity. So every single quarter I get public company stock. What I do with that stock is that I immediately sell it. Everyone has their different strategies, but for me, I just have so much reliant on this one company. It's where my day job is, which is most of my income. It's where my content creation is done mostly. And it doesn't make sense for most of my portfolio to also be in this stock. I'd much rather be diversified across the stock market. So what I do with my stock every single quarter is that I usually sell it and reinvest that money into index index funds. Now let's talk about my alternative investments. To be honest, I don't recommend what I do with my alternative investments, but this is such a small part of my portfolio, and I kind of got in when it was like really hyped up, and I wouldn't recommend it. So yeah, I invest in cryptocurrency. I hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and unfortunately, I'm cringing even saying this, I own Dogecoin as well. I was completely uninformed when I invested in Dogecoin. I just thought it could be a great way to make some quick money, and I got burned. So I'm still gonna hold my cryptocurrency even though I'm taking huge losses these days on it because I basically bought at the peak of cryptocurrency era and I'm too embarrassed to realize my losses. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm planning to just hold these things. So yeah, that's basically a summary of how I manage my money. I would say if you're someone with no debt and you're kind of curious about how do you manage your money, I think I'm managing my money pretty well. And a lot of the ways I manage my money are based on the books I've read. I'll leave them right over here so you can see. And I'll also have links in the description box if you're curious about buying any of those personal finance books. So there you have it, a full breakdown of how I manage my money as someone making 6 figures in tech in a very high cost of living area. Hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you found this video helpful.